Hello.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
I'm Lori.
We thought it'd be a good idea to film outside today. So did the sun, so did the roosters next door.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. So,
Alright, this is Oregon Trail Stitchin. Coming to you on the first day of fall, I think. I think today.
wow.
Yeah. So
But it feels like
happy
spring.
fall.
It feels like spring with the breeze and the sunshine and stuff.
Yep, not quite summer anymore. I think we're out of the triple digits.
Yes, we're definitely out of that. We're getting down into the low 40s where we are overnight. So
But we still have tomatoes changing color in the garden and stuff. So yeah.
Kids are back in school. School buses are on the streets.
Yeah.
Signs of fall.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Broke out the fall and winter clothes. They're in totes still, but season is changing. All right. Well, this is a fiber arts adjacent video series. So, as per usual, we will be talking about our whips, our works in progress. I don't think we have a ton of new stuff, just kind of updates on stuff we've been working on. We have some rescues. I actually did, Mom and I sort of had different, but ultimately sort of complementary activities that we did last weekend. So we'll share the fruits of that during our rescues, and then we have a special segment at the end as well.
Yep.
Thrifty Magpie. Since we're talking about seasons changing, we're going to jump ahead a little bit, thanks to a sort of fortuitous sale at Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
That we'll talk about more in a bit. And I think we've got we added to our libraries.
Yes, so we have a couple
in the
books,
past couple weeks.
A couple books to share on the Oregon Trail too.
Yep.
So,
I think that covers everything.
yeah, that's what we'll talk about today. The highlight at the end will be some videos and pictures from the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit that was held last weekend, which was what was last weekend? September
13th, 14th,
and
15th.
15th. Yes, over here in the Portland area of Oregon was where it was held. So I'll share those videos.
Yep. We'll talk more about that later. So I guess we start with our whips.
Yep.
All right, our very short whip parade.
Yes.
So I am probably, unfortunately, not going to meet my self-imposed deadline for Welcome Fall. Got a lot to do today if I wanted to do that. I'm not sure I want to spend the rest of the day stitching. And it is coming along. There are a lot of similar oranges in this pattern. And I feel like at some point I grabbed the wrong one for like the leaves or something. Again, I think the theme of this piece is just to kind of go with it. So the pumpkin's kind of starting to fill in. You can see on the bottom where I've sort of charted out the contour of the apple that goes next to the pumpkin.
Because you use a waterproof.
Yes. I feel like we need to do a segment sometime on
how you do
like
yours.
our favorite methods and tools, because I think we diverge a little bit. And I mean, whatever we do works for us. So maybe a couple different ways of doing stuff. I love my purple pen, my purple disappearing ink pen. I will make that clear. purple disappearing ink, into a smaller extent the blue. Purple is nice because this one's actually hanging out a little bit longer than I thought it would.
Right there.
Yeah. It's supposed to disappear within 72 hours. I think I might have gone over that maybe a little bit heavy, and that's why it's sticking around, because usually if I just do a quick grid, it's gone by the next evening and I have to redo it.
And this pattern was a free pattern from who?
So I got it on the freebie table. I don't believe it was originally a free pattern.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But, you know, in the spirit of sharing is caring. This is, again, the Welcome Fall from Annabella's Needle Art.
That's pretty.
So this one I acquired at the Boise retreat.
Okay.
And this one's finished. The model's finished pretty cool. I love those little velvet pumpkins. I saw them at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree's been upping their game with their fall decor, and sometimes I just like to go through there and just kind of snap little pictures of ideas for future finishes.
Yeah.
Got some little fake acorns and stuff.
So hopefully the next time we do a video, you'll
I am
have a
hoping
finish.
to have that finished in the next couple weeks, because I do want to start working on some more specifically. I do have a couple of Halloween projects, and then also Thanksgiving, and I want to get a good start on Christmas before things get busy. I believe it or not, this is not my full-time gig. I do have a full-time job. I'm also a full-time online college student. And classes start Monday for fall term, so Monday as in tomorrow. So I'm going to be kind of on autopilot for the next 2.5 months.
But what is your favorite way to relax?
So after I do my after I do my Animal Crossing dailies, I like to sit down and cross stitch. Maybe I'll turn on Cops or something for a little relaxing ambiance in the background. Chicago Fire is one that I've gotten into lately. Little over the top drama, but sometimes sometimes you need a little quality.
It makes life not look so bad when you see what's going on in those shows.
When you see it's a bit more graphic than Cops can be sometimes. Believe it or not, injuries happen that fire departments get called to, and I actually learn a lot from TV dramas such as Chicago Fire and Chicago PD.
And those are all reruns and stuff.
I think Chicago Fire is still going. I've been watching reruns because I watch them on the free Ion channel on my TV. But that's one that I've kind of gotten into. Tuesdays Chicago Fire, rest of the week is Antiques Roadshow. So that gives you an idea of my tastes.
At least right now, anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean I've loved Antiques Roadshow since childhood, and I think that was a grandma thing.
Yeah. This is my work in progress, the Gettysburg Address, and I'll show my progress.
How have we done on that one?
Well, not as much.
I mean,
my cross stitch time is pretty much evenings. After
I will preface this by reminding everyone it's been about a month since we've done a video, and it's been kind of busy. Wrapping up the garden, doing a couple other home projects. We're actually filming this on our brand new deck, so we've been occupied. Yes. But Mom still found some time to stitch.
Yeah, well, my time is maybe if I get a couple breaks at work, I'll just
stitch in the car.
Yeah, go stitch in the car where I could put at least a length of thread in that 15 minutes, and and then in the evening if things aren't too busy. But yeah, the garden's winding down. We'll have more time inside as the weather gets
a little bit less travel going on.
Yeah, we've had a lot of travel lately. This is my progress on the, whoops, I guess I could back up, on the Gettysburg Address. I've been kind of working by the page, so that's why this is kind of started, and not necessarily going in line. My intention was to go line by line and memorize the Gettysburg Address along with my stitching, and I think I'll catch up down here. As I get down here, and I'll just start doing line by line now that I got the hang of it, and how big, how wide the project is and that type of thing. So again, this is the Gettysburg Address by Primrose Needleworks.
That's an interesting idea for kind of memorizing as you go. I've actually had a couple of I always get like ideas for projects kind of bouncing around in my head. I've wanted to do a couple with like song lyrics.
Oh yeah, or even just portions of
and you know, or you know those long list songs that you always try to memorize.
List songs. Oh,
like We Didn't Start the Fire.
Or 99 red balloons go by.
99 red balloons. I'm trying to think of other examples.
End of the World as We Know It.
That one I do know.
That was by REM.
Yeah.
So those are what you mean by list songs.
So, the Wikipedia page for a list song is, it describes, it's a song where the structure is basically just kind of listing off stuff. So things like
bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio. And then next step's to do the Fall Out Boy version. So I guess I'm introducing Mom to a new little factoid here. A few years ago, actually, I think it was last year before, the band Fall Out Boy actually made an updated cover of We Didn't Start the Fire. With basically the events. So Billy Joel did events during his lifetime. So, early 1940s through 1989, I think, is when the original song.
Maybe.
88, 89. So Fall Out Boy picked up where Billy Joel left off, which is roughly the band's lifetime. Because the guys in Fall Out Boy are,
early 90s.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, about my age. Started in 1989 and went basically through COVID.
You'll have to share that with me. I'm sure you'll play it after this.
So that'll be on my list of songs to memorize because my brain runs on trivia and caffeine.
I will vouch for that. I will vouch for. Well, real quick, is it got the same feel as Billy Joel's?
So the idea, it doesn't. It's not quite as. So the thing about Billy Joel's is his is a little bit more chronological. So his goes pretty much in order of with swaps with a couple of years here or there to rhyme. Fall Out Boy basically focused on the rhyme. Some people have criticized Fall Out Boy's version because it's not strictly chronological. But others, of a certain generation find it really relatable because they weren't alive for Harry Truman, Doris Day, but they were alive for things like 9/11 and COVID. So.
Well, you've piqued my interest. I definitely want to hear it after this.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. So yeah, that would be a great project. I look forward to
song lyrics. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
What else? Okay, so that was our whips. Yeah. Do you have any other whips?
I don't have any other whips at the moment. I do have one. So this was a finish from a while back.
And you showed it with a lot of
pen marks.
Pen marks.
So this is the one that had a bunch of pen marks. This is one of my first re-entries into cross-stitching.
Oh, that's pretty when you get it closer.
Yeah,
See all the
you can
stitches.
still see there's kind of faint pen marks, but it's definitely different. Definitely better than it was. Magic trick for removing most of that pen ink was a combo, actually, of I used the Tide to Go pen.
Oh, like for stain remover.
Yep. I used the Carbona. They have those little yellow bottles, the Stain Devils, for removing specific stains. So they've got one for like blood, and they've got one for grease and things like that. So they have one for ink, marker, and crayon.
And you use that one.
So I used that one.
And it's called Carbona.
So the maker is Carbona, or Carbona. It's in the detergent section. They're in these little, I think they're 1 ounce bottles. And they're called Stain Devils.
Okay.
And
tip.
Yep. And then after I treated that, I soaked it overnight in OxyClean solution. Just OxyClean and water.
It didn't affect. Show again. It didn't affect your.
So it didn't affect the
DMC.
thread.
That was DMC, right?
Yep. So it did not affect.
I still,
Yeah.
transparency. We still see some of that, but
But
compared to what it looked like
especially
before,
in the sunshine, it disappears.
Cool.
So I think it's definitely something I could display now.
Okay. My whips, I still haven't finished any further on my Crater Lake stitch, so I don't have anything new to show on that one. I have not done any further work on my Don't Drop the Potato from Dirty Annie's pattern, so I don't have anything to show this video.
But you're working on them.
And I do have one more whip that I'll show when I talk about the retreat from last weekend. So,
all right.
Okay, so next, what should we talk about?
So, did we want to get into rescues or Thrifty Magpie?
Let's do rescues.
Okay.
We've got some.
All right. So while Mom was at the retreat last weekend, so I was unfortunately not able to go. Mom didn't think she was going to be able to go.
I was on a wait list, and
one seat opened up.
Yeah. I've heard other Flosstubers say, don't give up.
Don't drop that potato.
Don't drop that. Credit to Dirty Annie on that one. Even though I signed up sometime last year, whenever it opened up, and it closed right away, I went on the wait list. So, it's possible that things will open up.
Worst case scenario, you end up not going.
And I think,
keep those expectations nice and low so that you're not disappointed.
but do make the effort to get on that if you're at all interested.
Because then it's a happy surprise.
Yeah, and it seems to be when life happens, and I'm sure that's probably part of what opened up a spot for me. Also, where am I going with that?
Well, I mean, people sign up a year or so in advance,
and final deposits are due.
You don't know what you're doing a year from now. I don't know what I'm doing a year from now.
So anyway, encouragement to at least get on a wait list if you're interested at all.
Yeah,
because you have the opportunity when they call your name up for that wait list, you can say yes, I'm still interested, or no, I'm not. So
you're not
totally.
Yep, you're not committing until you're committed.
Okay, well, let's show.
So while Mom was at retreat, I got dog sitting duty, and also got the opportunity to kind of take care of some projects around my apartment and stuff. I'll still a little thrifting. So as we've mentioned in previous videos, another sort of side hobby that we both enjoy is rescuing. So there were a few like estate sales and garage sales happening throughout town last weekend. As summer's wrapping up, people are getting ready to put stuff away for winter. So I just kind of scooted around, No goal in mind really.
Well, while you're grabbing that, this quilt behind us is.
Hey, isn't that also a rescue?
It is a rescue. Here, I don't know if I can get
it's
the sunshine.
We're outside, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah. But it's a rescue. It has some repairs that are needed, but I really enjoy. Oh, get your stuff. It's got the, I think, flour sack squares, at the very least, 1930s fabric. So had to rescue that one. I believe I got it from Erlene, from the Quilt Guild. She was moving away and destashing, and she kindly gifted this one to me, and I'm really thankful. I really love it a lot.
Quilt Guild.
Yep, local quilt guild that I belong to. Okay, first one you got?
All right, so I'll start with the thrift store. So there's a thrift store that usually has lots of stuff. So usually they're willing to kind of cut you a deal on things that they're trying to get rid of. So this is Little Precious Moments Angels.
And there's no name or anything on
Nope,
that,
looks like there's just initials.
Yeah, I mean, no note, I guess I'm saying. So, yeah,
Right.
So it says MLW in 99. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and you can see they did some work to kind of make the mat fun. Did some stars and coloring. So they really made it kind of a nice little gift.
Yeah. That's a nice rescue.
I'm happy to give it a nice
That's
home.
classic 1980s, maybe early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the same store is a needlepoint.
So this is more with yarn. Yeah.
Yep. So it's
I love the barn theme, and it looks like a photograph. The lines.
This one is also initialed.
What would you
right here in the corner?
CIN?
Yep.
Yeah, but no note or any indications.
I like
on
the
back.
use of the negative space with the clouds. Really just kind of shaded the sky around it. But look at that detail on that barn. It actually does look like a lot of the barns around here. A couple different types of barns in there too.
Yeah.
You have that kind of that brown sort of pole barn, and then you have the classic red with the silo.
That'd be neat to chart up as a cross stitch too.
Yeah.
I might have to.
I mean,
someday see if I can take my hand at charting.
Probably take a photo or something from around here, and
yeah, I like that. That's a good find.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. It's a little wrinkled in the frame, but and there was another one yesterday too that maybe I'll just take a chance and see if it's there next week. It's a covered bridge. It's not framed as nicely, but it still looks pretty cool. It's got the vibrant reds and stuff.
Oregon has covered bridges, more so on the west side of Oregon. In the Willamette Valley and towards the coast, there's several covered bridges. In fact, I think there's maps and that type of thing. And so
it also appealed to me because it had sort of a winter scene too. Had some snow. Reminded me of I feel like Bob Ross is doing a covered bridge painting at some point.
Talk about relaxing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sometimes I like to watch that during cross stitching too.
And where'd this one come from?
Okay, so
the lead up.
So I told Mom, I called her like during the retreat.
Oh, we're outside. We got flies.
Yeah. Better outside than inside. So I was so excited about these next two rescues that I called Mom during the retreat, like right before lunch. So I had found a yard sale. At first glance, things looked kind of sad. It had rained off and on that day. It had rained in the morning. Things had gotten rained on. But I thought, I'll take a stab. Their signs said cheap. That usually tends to attract me to a sale if things are cheap, as would most people.
So how much was this one?
The first thing I found was this sampler.
Think of others first and you will never be last.
Yep, very classic. A couple different alphabets on there.
It looks like it's maybe 14 count Ada it's done on, maybe?
Yep. I mean, it's
The
the flowers are beautiful. I do like that it's kind of an asymmetrical border. Not something you see often. So this one just kind of had some water on the frame, but you know, I thought it was in good shape. Price tag said $2.
And that one's not signed or no note either.
No, and there's I mean, you could see where things maybe got a little bit damp. The matting is a little bit warped, but
You can reframe it or
yeah,
do something else with
and the stitching's in great shape. The frame itself is actually in pretty good condition,
considering, yeah.
Yeah, considering it was literally like leaning up against a table on the ground. This one is a little bit
rough.
It's
The stitching isn't.
No, the stitching is in remarkable shape, I think, considering the obvious age of this piece. This is one that when I show it, you'll see why I immediately had to rescue it. This one I have to be very careful with. And maybe you can
help you hold it
carefully.
Is that the right side?
Yeah. Yep. So just flip it forward. So, this one, it's raining frame here. So this is another needle point. It's a cross stitch. It's like a cross stitch needle point.
You know what I would call what I see and
it's a bigger. They're bigger stitches.
They're bigger stitches, but I think you've used all 6 threads. I think that's why you're thinking it's needlepoint. They used the whole thing.
Which I mean, it gives it an effect for sure. It's very effective on the bigger.
I don't know if we can go back. If we can go back even further, just
so
you can see how rough the frame is. It's warped. But it's got this neat detail.
So, little story behind this from the person that was holding the sale.
Get more details as we go.
I want to say it was her grandmother or her mother, who was the one that did this needlepoint or cross stitch or project. This piece.
Oh, it would have been great to get her name or something on there.
Framed it up. And she told me that she had just, she had every intention, as we often do, of fixing it up, fixing the frame, getting it restored. And then it rained. And it suffered some, unfortunate water damage. Not the piece itself, but the frame.
It's pretty unique and really ornate. And you don't see those kind of frames at all.
I think I've maybe seen one in a thrift store a few years back.
It's almost like it's on
like plywood.
Like plywood that
and then you just kind of glue the little
maybe. Yeah, it's
ornaments on it.
So that would be really interesting. Do put in the comments. I speak for both of us. Put in the comments if you've done some kind of restoration like this, and if this frame looks kind of familiar, if you have any idea on the age, because the intent would be to salvage as much as possible, if not
of the ornamentation,
or maybe
just
recreate
elements of it. I mean, because even like 3D printing has come a long way these days. But you could see where, if I didn't save it, like who was going to?
Especially when it has water damage, and if the family
didn't
have intentions at this point,
right? And
how much did you pay for that?
So, I mean, I was ready to pay like, $5 or $10 just because of the age. Because I wanted to respect the, you know, any value that they thought it might have. While keeping in mind that, you know, I would probably need to put some money into it to get it like display ready. And the couple who was running the sale said that, you know, everything was donation. I think they just wanted to kind of get the sale over with because they were battling weather and they had a lot of stuff. They actually told me the donations were going to kind of a nice little cause. They've got a little cat colony in their backyard that they're working on getting fixed. So, you know,
So what
keep
did you donate on this one?
So they're looking out for cats, which is great. I'm an animal lover. In case you didn't gather that, I paid a grand total of $1
for that piece.
for that piece. So $3 for both the alphabet sampler and the and you pointed out that there's 4 different buildings on that one, right?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll insert.
We will put a picture in
here to look at it again.
Yeah, so. And maybe we'll do some close-up pictures of
some of the pieces.
Yeah. But there is a covered bridge, a lighthouse, a barn, and a church. Yeah, trying to remember what that 4th one was. So not houses. They're actually kind of unique little buildings with probably some historical significance.
Yeah, it'll be fun to do some more research.
Yeah.
Yeah, do please comment and give
if you
some
know
opinions or insight on that type of project, and that'd be helpful.
Or you know, even if you have something like that in your own attic or something and have a cool story. We love hearing other people's stories.
Absolutely. All right.
And then one more rescue is actually it was a whip rescue.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't often rescue other people's projects, but this one is sort of regionally relevant.
And this came from
this came from another garage sale, a moving sale. So the lady who started this project a while back has moved. But last weekend they were having their get rid of everything sale.
And included it looks like DMC floss.
So the entire project's in here. It's got all the floss, the pattern.
And it's older DMC.
Yep.
Yeah, I could tell it's got different
there's so the older labels. Pretty color story here. What do you think this project might be?
I don't know.
You see all these different colors.
Well, it's got purple, greens, and then some browns and reds.
So maybe something kind of natural.
Yeah.
So it
looks like it's on a 14 count Ada or something.
Yeah. So it is. Looks like it's out of a magazine.
Don't touch that. Is there a picture? Oh yeah. Quail.
Yeah.
So that's right. You did show that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quail that are in our neighborhood, and
we have like little kamikaze quails. They're on like some sort of risky mission all day long.
Always crossing
all
the road.
day long. Yep, in their little herds. I know
Flocks.
that's not the. I feel like it's got like a really cool collective noun, but the name for the group of quails. But I like to call them herds because that's how they run around, is in their little herds.
Okay, so you got the project.
And they got their little head.
Yeah, the little feather thing.
Their plumes, their plumage. So the lady who I got this from, you can see where she kind of made
that
little
right?
quadrants.
Wait, let me see. Oh, I guess that's upside down if that's part of this.
Yeah, I just opened
Oh, the
it.
quadrant. Oh, you're
Yeah.
just showing the.
Yeah, so you can see where she kind of started with the quadrants. She picked a really cool
Ada?
yep, it's an Ada. It's kind of a
Rustic or something?
rustic sort of pattern, sort of antique-y, very very appropriate for this.
And you've got all the floss.
Included a needle, so I'm being very careful here. But I just thought that you know, this is one that I could reasonably accomplish maybe over the winter. Looks like it's probably easy enough to frame.
I was trying to see how many threads. I think she's using all. Yep.
Oh,
Using all 6 threads.
okay, that's good to know. So
All 6.
I'll continue doing that then. And it looks like, yep, all the DMC has its labels on there, so I should be able to, in the event that I, you know, run out of floss using all 6 threads.
Did it say which magazine it came out of?
So it is out of, yes. And it actually has a mention on the cover. So this is out of the January-February 1989 edition of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. I think I actually picked up a couple of these off of a freebie table in Boise, or at a thrift store or something. But you can see right here, Proud Quail.
Okay.
Plus, it's got, in addition to the quail, it's got all the other charts that are probably in this magazine. So
It'll be fun.
I think I scored. I haven't even looked through this yet to see what else was in there. So,
And again, that was from 89.
yes,
A very good year.
it is older than me, actually. Ooh, yeah. So I just randomly opened this up to little sachets. Those could be fun. I think you've got some lavender in the garden. So, yeah, just a couple little bonus projects in there in addition.
And sachets
to
can be pin keeps too.
sachets can. Interesting, you mentioned that actually. I was just telling Mom night before last. I was going through some of my books in storage and found a pincushion craft book that I picked up at a library sale a few years ago. And it actually has a sachet pincushion. So,
Cool.
yep. So lots of fun projects to kind of keep going on.
All right, we have some thrift. Is that we can continue on with some not rescues but thrifty magpies type stuff?
Yeah. So were we gonna do books and with the magpie or?
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll
Okay. So while we're on the subject of books, actually, you know, I love an accidental segue for sure.
Okay, so you know our channel is called Oregon Trail Stitchin. So I have a couple books that I picked up regarding the Oregon Trail.
This house likes to read.
I wish I had more time to read, but this one is an Oregon Trail road trip for any of those of you that are potentially along the Oregon Trail or want to use it as
I know some people
guide.
like to use it as like a bucket list trip.
Yeah. Yeah, the book is I picked it up secondhand, and it has pictures and day trips and trails all organized. So
in the event that we find a free weekend,
yeah, that
to go explore.
So yeah, that's something if you're interested in that kind of thing. Just wanted to share it.
I like that picture on the front with the sunflowers.
Oh yes.
I did not realize that sunflowers were so like regionally
I've seen them
like
in Montana.
common. Yeah. I mean, because I'm
Idaho.
used to seeing sunflowers in the garden, in front of people's houses. Not so much out in the wild until, you know, living where we do. You know, they're weeds on the side of the highway, but they're really pretty weeds on the side of the highway.
Yeah, to the landscape.
Make you happy.
This one, for those who are crossover stitch or do quilting, you may be also interested in this book. I believe there's a couple different ones out there by Mary Cross, Quilts of the Oregon Trail.
Where'd you get that one?
This one I actually had to get off of eBay.
It's a great place to find exactly what you're looking for, even if that thing's a book.
And what this book does, it has 56 quilts from the Oregon Trail. And when I say from the Oregon Trail, the author does preface that she followed different families, or has looked at the historical piece along families who came across the Oregon Trail.
So the quilts may have been made prior to going on the trail, and they brought them with them. They could have been made as a project, you know, during the ride, or afterward. But they're associated with actual
Oregon Trail families.
Yeah,
who settled in.
And there's some really colorful and beautiful patterns.
So it kind of gives you an idea. And it gives a history of...
I like that one, and I can't quite see how colorful... Ooh, I like...
The circles?
Yeah. Kind of reminds me sort of like Christmas candy.
So just kind of give you a preview of that. If that's your kind of thing, and you'd like more information, that's the book. Yep,
if you're a quilter or a history buff or both.
I have one other book I want to share.
So this is for our knitter friends. I know there's a lot of crossover in the Flosstube community. People who do multiple fiber arts. We both crochet in addition to, not as often as we would probably like to.
But the focus is on, pretty much on cross stitch.
But you know, Mom does some quilting. We both crochet.
We both have Hexie projects started for quilting.
I just pulled mine back out of my storage unit. Had to temporarily move it there.
Hexie's referring to hexagons. They're paper piecing.
It's an English style paper piecing using a hexagon template. It's a great way to use scrap paperboard. So cereal boxes, soda cases. It's a great way to recycle. And maybe sometime we'll show a strip of what you've got going on right now.
Sometime. So this book, for those of you that are knitters, I am not a knitter. I have tried, and I may in the future.
You've got a friend who's a knitter.
But I couldn't let this book go. We were visiting a national park here in the last month, and this is how thick the book is.
Yeah,
and
we visited a couple of the parks in this.
And
book.
This author, Nancy Bates, she has designed for many, not all, but many of the national parks, a knitted hat, and her patterns are in here. Let me show just an idea. Here's one of the Grand Tetons, and it gives a
reference photo.
Yeah. And on the next page after this is the actual pattern. But you can see how, with that photograph, how she's tied in those sunflowers into the hat.
But doesn't she, on some of these, kind of go beyond just the colors and the patterning, but also kind of
texture.
The texture. Let
me see if I can.
She really, really gets creative with things like texture.
I was looking to see if I can find the
Joshua Tree had a good one.
Oh, and I think I can find it quickly here. You're good at
So you're in... so this book is... There's an index. So this book is organized by region. If you were kind of familiar with like the national parks passport, little souvenir that you can buy and get stamps at each visitor center for a lot of the parks. It's organized by region, so there's like West, there's Alaska, there's like Southeast,
there's roosters. We don't have roosters, our neighbor does.
No.
Here's the Joshua Tree. I found it.
So as you can see, each region it's separated by region. So Pacific West, so California qualifies as Pacific West. But check out the texture and how it kind of mirrors the
Joshua trees.
Kind of the gnarled tree.
So anyway, just and in case you haven't seen that and you're a knitter or you're interested, check that book out by Nancy Bates.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'd love to own a couple of those hats just because
Yeah, if they were
they're
for
works
sale.
of art.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be fun, even just kind of display.
Mm-hmm. What else we
I've got a couple books
yes.
too. So during my rescue mission last weekend, I do have a Oregon adjacent book. This is for the people out there who like journalistic writing. So this is by a former retired Pacific Northwest TV journalist, Patrick Wilkins. He used to work for the ABC affiliate in Portland, KATU, Channel 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote on the back here says, quote, kind of like Charles Kuralt with a smaller territory. So he's a former news anchor, and he...
How many pages is the book?
It is 171 pages, so it's, nice little weekend read. And it just has different little stories and tidbits about different Oregon kind of quirky happenings. There's one in here that might be... Oh, erector set bridges. So one place that we have been before is the... if you're familiar at all with the west side of the state, our state capital, Salem, Oregon, the A.C. Gilbert House is a children's museum. A.C. Gilbert was, of course, the inventor of the erector set.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So...
Again, trivia. Nicole's got the trivia.
So there is a story about erector set bridges in here.
Cool.
And if you ever get an opportunity to visit that museum, it is a children's museum, but it's totally adult friendly too.
And you can see the whole thing in how many hours you think?
I
mean, depends.
I'd say make it a half-day trip, just to, enjoy everything. More so if you've got kids.
Children.
But the cool thing about this house is it is it's like an older sort of mansion style house. It's actually a couple buildings now. But there is a play structure outside that is designed like an erector set. So, those little metal toys. You know what an erector set is. It's those metal toys that you kind of...
Yeah, you have to use a little wrench to...
Use your little Allen wrench to put it together. And there's like a Ferris wheel, and there's like bridges. And yeah, so another little Oregon claim to fame is A.C. Gilbert.
Very good.
But that's just one of the many stories in this book. So I thought this was kind of fun. I got this at a local bookstore. It's actually a used bookstore that also sells like movies and records and video games and my type of store. It's a treasure hunt. It's a huge store too, and it is just down the street from my workplace. So
you get some break time there.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple more.
Yeah. This one, I want to say I got at the same sale that I got the Quail project at. Check out that sampler on the front.
Oh, a lot of sunflowers.
Yep. So this...
Oh, and yeah, sunflowers, and it looks like some
there's
viola.
some thistles. There's like a strawberry plant. So that's just one of the samplers in this book. There's some more kind of traditional style samplers for different occasions. They're very customizable. So this one is...
yeah, that's just a picture.
Yep. So this is for like a wedding gift or an anniversary gift. So you can fill in the names, the the church or site where you... Yeah.
And this is sampler September.
Yes, it is. speaking, I'll talk about the next book in a sec. But it just gives you kind of fun little home projects. Those are shelf liners for like your china cabinet.
That's pretty.
Yep. But the cool thing about these, and I think the cool thing that a lot of people find about samplers, is you can use like the individual motifs for things like scissor fobs or bookmarks or pillows or just fun little things. So they're very versatile patterns. You know, people use the alphabets for personalizing things.
It'll be fun to see what you do with that.
Yeah. And then I have one more book that I got from that same big bookstore. Historic Samplers. Because it is Sampler September. Actually, Sampler September is almost over. If I start one in the next week and a half, does that count?
Yes, it counts.
Okay. Cool, because what I need is another project. So starting with this table of contents here, gives you a little preview on each of the girls that did, actually, I think there's a boy in there too.
Oh, yeah, I see George.
Yep. His workmanlike marking sampler was a lesson in patience for a boy. Maybe I'll flip to that page really quick.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of piqued my interest. I mean, as I will, you know, shout from the hilltop until the day I die, cross stitches for everyone.
It is. It was on page 86.
But especially in 1826, you know, it was still very much largely the domain of schoolgirls.
Page 86.
But,
that's the one. Yeah.
Yep. So it says, rarely were boys required to stitch at all, much less make a sampler.
Let me put it up higher.
They were if they were doing needlework, it was either because they were being punished or to pass the time while they were sick. So they weren't doing the needlework project in school like the girls were. So this was little George's sampler.
Very nice. That's a neat book.
Yep. And something I learned actually on Antiques Roadshow about these samplers, especially with the black threads. If you can see older samplers with black threads with the dye intact, that's a sign that it's been very, very well preserved. Because the black dye that they used to make the thread was actually a very corrosive material. So the black color would be the first to go.
Good to know.
Yep. So the fact that you've got those two letters there that are black, and they're in such good shape, you know, you can tell this was preserved early and very well.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting interested in the book.
It's such an interesting book. Oh, here's a cute one actually. This is a little bit different alphabet. A little bit different than you normally see on a sampler. And it looks like this was a group project, a collaborative effort between sisters.
Cool.
10-year-old twins, it says. So each of them did a half.
Very nice.
Yeah, that one's a fun one. And it comes with the patterns for those samplers.
Very good.
So those are fun ones. So that was a really fun find yesterday.
Or yesterday or last week?
That one was yesterday.
That one was yesterday. Okay.
I often make return trips to places. So that was my books. Thrifty Magpie.
I have a few items picked up.
So what did you do yesterday?
Went to Hobby Lobby. But the Christmas right now, at this time, I don't know when we'll be able to
Believe
post
it
this.
or not.
Yeah, they're doing their Christmas at 50% off. So there's some items that I thought would work with as zipper pulls or needle minders. So just gonna quickly show these were 50% off.
Yeah. And you can find similar things like this in their jewelry section. Not necessarily Christmas, but throughout the year you see little charms.
Yeah, they can be little accessories or zipper pulls. Oh, these are like little Santas. You can see the little, like a pom-pom for the hat. That's all.
Oh, that I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, is that fun? And then they have, sometimes we like to put little tags or things. So yeah, 50% off.
So if you want to embellish your project.
You
What
got
are these? These are
some more charms.
Some more charms. So again,
Christmas charms.
Zipper pulls, embellishments for fobs.
All kinds in there. There's little pine cones. And again, 50% off at Hobby Lobby.
Oh, hey. What do I like to do with buttons?
You like to make needle minders.
I do. So
it's a little Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah,
Puff.
so we've got an intact button here, so you can see we got a little Mr. Claus, Mrs. Claus, and little Rudolph there.
And then on the back is
You've got the shanks for the buttons. So I would just take pliers. So my favorite pliers to use for this are actually at Walmart in the tool section. I think they're called micro cutters or something like that.
it just
like $3-4, and it snips it off. It's very nice little flush cut, and then you just plop your magnets on over that.
And you've mentioned before you get the magnets from
Harbor Freight
and they come like in a little container.
So they come in a little tube. 10 magnets for
$2 or $3.
Yeah, like $3. And generally speaking, I say generally speaking because of what I'm going to share here in just a moment. Generally speaking, you're going to use 2 magnets for a project, between your fabric. There is one exception that I just learned about because of something Mom gifted me from when she was at the retreat, and how you can kind of modify a needle minder.
I forgot already. Okay,
yes.
Then there's that last item from Hobby Lobby.
So these are die cut Santas that you can use for a few different things. You can use them as floss drops. I usually I tend to bobbinate my floss.
It's pretty thick.
Yep. So it's definitely sturdy enough for a floss drop.
Mm-hmm.
You could use it for a tag. You could use it for a needle minder if you wanted, probably. Kind of a big one, but hey, you're not going to lose your needle minder.
No.
And you can totally do that. You can use cardboard if it's cool and pretty, and gives you that surface area. And again, like I said, where did it go? Oh, so I think it's a good time to segue into the retreat.
The retreat, again, was the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, sponsored and ran by Acorns Threads Needle Shop in Portland, Oregon.
Yes, we like them.
They have been doing the retreat for several years. This was my first time to attend. I attended, like we said earlier, on a wait list and was able to participate. There was 150 people at the event. It was held at
comparable to
Embassy
Boise,
Suites.
maybe a little.
Yeah, they were around
about the size of
Yeah. We had.
Speaking of which, we have dates for.
Oh, did you get an email?
I did not get an email, but I looked on their site.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
the one from Boise was.
Yeah, so the one from Boise, they did announce that they are doing one next year. So they will.
This will be their second one.
There will be a second Stitchin' on the River.
And that was sponsored by
Maggie's on Main in Emmett, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
It will be at the Riverside Hotel
Oh
again.
yeah, that's a nice location.
Yeah.
So yeah. So separate from that, because yeah, we look forward to attending that. That will be there.
August 1st through the 3rd next year.
In 2025.
So like a smidge later, but kind of during a dead time of the year when we're not doing other weekend travel.
So yeah, Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I think some people have called it PNWSS for short.
Well, because the PNW is, what the cool people call the Pacific Northwest.
There, 150 people, and then there was attendees on Zoom as well. That was an option for some people. They were able to get the retreat box in advance that was mailed to them, and they had their instructions on when they should open things up. So in a sense, there was more than 150 people that went. It's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They fed us lunch. The hotel itself provided breakfast and evening snacks.
You said something about a dessert bar.
They had well, it wasn't necessarily a dessert bar, but there was dessert. I mean, that was included with meals, delicious meals. So yes, very well organized event. I would love to attend next year, and Nicole as well. So hoping to get in on that, and at the very least, we'll end up on the wait list and hope for the best.
Yep. Those expectations low, but also aim high.
The designers were Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut. Beth Twist is from the Pacific Northwest, and Teresa Kogut is from Michigan, and they did a collaborative project that they provided us a kit with everything we needed to do the project.
Oh,
yeah, it was the design, it was the linen, and all of the overdyed threads from Classic Color Works and Weeks Dye Works.
Fabrics provided, which is
yeah. So it was and it was a great design. So I'll show that, and then I'll show you some of the swag that we got, and then we'll end our video today with some of the pictures and videos from the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Like I said, the design was a collaborative design by Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut. This is the design from Beth Twist, and it's she called it Across the Miles. And this is the Teresa Kogut version, and she called it No Distance Too Far. So if you put these two together, you can see where you could combine them, and that's exactly what they did. They had them done separately, and they also had a finished project where it was together, and I'll insert that picture here.
It's a really nice way to commemorate a long distance friendship.
And here's how I went ahead and did a retreat start on this, and I'm going with the combined version. So I've started on the top, and like I said, we received the overdye threads as our retreat gift. It was included, and
hey, where'd you get that needle minder?
That needle minder, that's one that Nicole showed me how to make. It's with those magnets from Harbor Freight, and it's just a button from Walmart where we took the shank off.
Yep.
Also included in the retreat package was this floss organizer. Beth Twist's husband has a business where he's making these items.
Laser engraving.
Yep. Actually, it's even bigger than that. Beth Twist and her husband, and I apologize, I don't recall his name offhand, they live in the just outside of Portland, like towards Mount Hood, and they live on several acres and have forest that they manage.
So it is local wood.
It is local wood. They grow, mill. I believe a lot of the wood that he's using is what we would call rescue wood. That they didn't cut it down.
It's reclaimed.
It's something that maybe fell during a storm or something like that.
Yeah.
But they
really
it grew on their property. They milled it. They dried it.
respectfully using their resources.
And laser engraved. And so you could probably see here for this project, there's 14 colors of overdyes, and they gave us 14 spots for it. And this is the floss that they provided. And it's a combination. It's mostly Weeks overdyes, and also classic colorworks. So this is my first time using
a couple
those.
of the more common overdyes that you can find if your LNS carries overdyes. Generally will have Weeks and or classic colorworks.
Pretty much DMC girls, but it's nice to expand out.
Yeah, and I think part of that's just because we don't have as ready access to we don't have an LNS here in town that carries
so the bag that the pattern and the items came in from Beth Twist was this reusable bag. She let us know that she hand stamped each bag that can be reused with a little beaver. And
state
she
animal.
So you can imagine if there was 150 plus those who were on Zoom, and I'm not sure of that number.
And
she
you're
had a lot
having
of
to
stamping
stamp
she had to do
carefully.
Yes. And then Teresa Kogut
You could probably
gave us her pattern and treats in this zipper bag, and it's the design of the pattern
printed onto the canvas.
Yeah. And then other goodies, also Teresa, both ladies, Beth and Teresa, are artists. That's who they are. They're artists.
I mean, you can't not be an artist and be a designer.
Who have moved into the cross stitch world, and so we get their talents that way. Also included with the same theme and picture of the Teresa Kogut. She gave us note cards with envelopes, and she also gave us
maybe for writing notes to far off friends.
A little sticker.
It's a cross stitch raccoon.
Of the raccoon in the
It's a trash panda.
And then also towards the end of the retreat, I think it was on Saturday, after they had given us all of the items for our projects on Friday. Saturday they gave us a treat. They had one more pattern for us, and what they did is they took the if I can show you here, they pulled out the animals, the little beaver and the little raccoon, and their names are Finn and Willow.
Yes.
And they gave us an exclusive Biscorno pattern for those who attended the retreat, called Willow and Finn Biscorno. And what's unique about this is those who attended the retreat, we got both patterns together. And for those, when they make the pattern available to the general public, they won't be together. They'll just be separate, Finn and Willow separately. But look at the Biscornos. So that will be fun. Who doesn't love animals, right? So that was the designer portion of the retreat. And then there were
they look like such fun patterns to do during like fall and winter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we don't want to spend so much time outside. And
there was something.
So there was some swag that you guys got too. So in addition to the designer little gifties and anybody who has been to a retreat you know, me the retreat expert here. I've been to.
Yes, and it was a good one too.
Yeah, looking forward to future retreats because I think it's a really fun time. Great way to meet people. But highlight of these retreats are how generous everyone is. Oh my gosh.
Including the sponsoring LNS,
Store, yeah.
the local
So,
needlework store. The owner,
especially if you're on the, you know, in the area on the West Coast, make regular trips, you know, Acorns and Threads.
and you can certainly order online from Acorns and Threads as
Yeah.
well. This shop owner is Jeanine, and what a wonderful lady. And her staff, I wish I knew each one of them personally. I kind of felt like I got to know them more during the retreat, but
Yeah.
what a lovely group.
You did swing by the store too, right?
Yes, we did, and I'll show you my swag there. But Jeanine owns the store. She took it over from Roz. Roz was the original owner, and Roz was present at the retreat as well. She made our name tags, which was great. Okay, some items I shared with you. Go ahead and share those.
Did you want to talk about the name tags?
Oh no, that's they're name tags that you recycle each year, so you got to keep the one.
Yeah, so it's kind of a you get little charms for each year, so it's kind of like if you're into, you know, a badge system. You like to collect things year after year. It's a nice little souvenir of, you know, I could see that being really fun. So Mom was generous in return, gifting some of these to me. This is a little tray. It is just a little
I guess my needle won't really.
resin.
A resin tray, and it's got the
It's got
magnets.
the retreat logo. It's got so as I was sort of alluding to earlier, this is the one scenario where you would use maybe one magnet for a needle minder. Because you've got sort of built-in magnets here for needle minding, but if you want to jazz it up a little bit.
Another item that was a make it and take it. So it's these two pieces, and you put it together like this, then you're done. It's made. It's a cell phone holder, and yeah, cell phone holder. And this, as you may recognize the wood, again, Beth Twist's husband, and I apologize, I do not have his name offhand, or the name of his business, but I will insert it in the comments, so you can order from him. But this is, I believe, I may have this wrong, it's either red alder or red cedar. It's red alder, I
It's
believe.
a local tree.
From their property, and again, rescued from their property, dried, milled, and turned in and laser engraved into this neat little project.
What a beautiful way to
and that
use
was given to us as a
scraps.
gift. Yeah,
You know, wood that would otherwise, you know, maybe be wasted.
but not by their team, but you know, otherwise, yeah. It's somebody else who maybe wasn't managing there for us.
It's another way to think of rescues.
Another item was from let's see, who's that from?
Mar Daily. So I got her her social handles.
It's
proprietor of Strange Stitches, so she's got a little shop.
She did the logo of the retreat.
Yep, trying to keep it from moving around. Looks like it could potentially be a floss drop or needle minder, both.
Acorns and Threads also gave us a little ort jar.
Yeah,
And it's got
that is so cute.
if I can focus in on it.
It's got a little emblem on it.
Yeah, it's got acorn and a needle. Yeah, it's in oak leaves. Sorry, it doesn't come up very well on there.
Is that like their shop logo, or?
It might be, or at least the theme.
Yeah.
Some other items were dropped
I love
off.
little jars like that. You gotta have a couple little goblin jars to.
Yeah, some other retreat items. I apologize, we don't have a name on here, but someone used the logo and made a floss catcher. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Another one.
So at these retreats, it's common to not necessarily know who gave you stuff, despite your best efforts, you can try writing names down. You get up to look at the freebie table, and you come back to your seat, and it's like a magpie gave you gifts.
Another beautiful floss keeper with.
Oh, that is pretty.
This one was from who is it?
The Sip Stitch Sisters.
Kara and Nan. So thank you, Kara and Nan. And someone dropped off needles at our
counting
tables.
pens?
Oh well, they're pretty pokey, but I bet if I filed that down, it could be a nice counting pen.
I think with counting pens, what a lot of people do will earring backs, like those little rubber stoppers that you get when you buy like a pair of earrings. People will use those to blunt the ends of their pins.
Okay.
And I think you can get those in a pack at Walmart in the jewelry section, in like the spare parts section. So there's an idea if you want to try to make your own.
A little pouch
pens.
was dropped off at our table, and this was a little.
It's a pumpkin!
A little, it could be a zipper pull, I suppose. Thank you, Kristen, very much for dropping that off. I believe she dropped it off for everybody at the retreat. Very kind.
Lots of
another
lots
one.
of fall. I mean, people definitely are feeling the season.
This one was dropped off by Robin. She gave us a needle. It's a long, thin needle, so I believe it's used for beading, and then also a
Like
cross stitch needle. Yeah. So thank you very much, Robin. She I believe she gave that to everyone at the retreat.
Oh, cool.
At least in person. This one.
Oh, yes.
This one came from dropped off at our table. I suppose it could be used as a floss drop or a project tag. For when you have to rip out your projects.
Yes. So
thank you very much, June, for
Boise
that.
was actually where I first learned about the froggy brush.
Oh, that little mascara type. Yeah, it's a nice little brush to get the fuzzies or the loose threads when you have to rip out
pulling out your project.
Also, floss drops from. Who is this from? Stitchy Witch. Thank you very much, Stitchy Witch. She has a Flosstube channel. Check her out. She also covered.
We have a little cameo from.
From
Thing.
The Thing. Where is it? The hand.
Yep.
She also recapped our
retreat
her
video.
And then I don't know who this came from, but someone dropped off the glass. Nail file.
Yep. Oh, I like how it comes in a case. I've had one of these things unfortunately break on me before. Having that case is a game changer for sure.
Let's see. I also from my table, I believe this was from Amy.
The little beaded chain.
Yes.
Oh, is that a little pumpkin on the end?
Yes. Little
that is super cute.
So I put it on my little pouch there.
Yep, and that pouch you got in Boise.
Yep. Speaking of our table mates, let me remember everyone. There was myself, and then Karen, and we had Rocio, Jordan, Bernadette, and Amy and Jillian. I'll put their information in the comments below, or in the information
in the description.
Yes. Great table mates. We had an awesome time.
I believe Bernadette is on here as Burn Stitches, I think.
Burn Stitches.
And she also did a great little recap video of the retreat. If you want to go check that out.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe we'll pop a link to that as well.
Yeah, all that fancy stuff. We're still on the learning curve.
Still learning about YouTube.
Our Flosstube, yes.
I grew up with YouTube, and I'm still figuring it out. So.
Yeah, we had a great table, and I think all the tables were great. Everyone was so friendly and helpful. Thank you. A shout out to Karen. I met Karen in the line before the retreat opened, and she was right next to me, and made a plan to be at the same table, and I'm so glad we did. We got to go shopping together at Acorns and Threads, and got to meet her husband and her puppies, and it was just wonderful. So shout out to Karen.
It's always helpful when you can have an enabling buddy along with you for your haul.
There was a smalls exchange, and they organized it so well that those who were on the Zoom call that wanted to participate, that they sent in their smalls ahead of time. So the smalls exchange was done with one opened at a time.
Send out like smalls to them in return to
I think after the retreat, it was flagged for them. So
that's cool.
I'll insert my small that I put in here.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
this is a small I received.
worry about the people on Zoom because you miss that kind of in-person connection.
I love this one. I don't know. It did not have a name on it. If this
so
is yours,
tiny.
It is very small stitches, and I will.
They're squirrels.
I'm thinking I might turn it into a needle minder or just a magnet in general.
Oh, that would be such a cute magnet.
It gets bonus points for being on theme. It's the squirrel. Oops, I'm sorry, squirrel with the
acorns
and the
threads.
Well, and the oak leaves.
I'm like legit tearing up over this.
Oh gosh! Oh goodness sakes! It is so tiny. I don't know what count. It's 1/1. Probably 46. I don't know.
I don't think it's that small, but
I'm not sure. But anyway,
I know there's a way to do it. I don't think eyeballing it is the way to do it. But oh my gosh, yes, this is like maybe 2 inches wide.
Yeah, maybe 2 inches.
And just all.
Yeah, and the back. I mean, it's nicely finished with the round, so it's really nice.
And you can just pick up a pack of those at like Joann or Hobby Lobby or whatever.
Make little Christmas.
I think I've got a pack of ovals I need to do something with.
Yeah, I love it. If that was your smalls, drop a hello in the comments. I would love to say thank you personally to you for that small. That's great.
Yeah, it gives me ideas for what I want to do with some of my stash.
I don't want to extend. We're already.
That's okay. We're here for the long haul. But right? Speaking of haul,
yes, this retreat. We only had the experience from our previous retreat. There was a freebie section where people destash and have their items.
Oh boy, was there a freebie section?
Yeah,
you were telling me about it like while you were there.
It was 3 6-foot tables. They could have been 8-foot tables.
So that's 18 feet of freebies.
Yes, and it kept being refreshed. So there was anything from the early 80s, 90s to current stuff. I understand from many that they felt that they scored on some shepherd's bush and some other items that were on the table. I'll just kind of briefly show the kind of
basic things like fabric
freebies.
Even.
Oh yeah, there was fabric. There was frames and things like that. These are just I liked these smalls. You know, again, my style of stitching is I get to stitch on breaks. So having these tiny little smalls,
or even
nice.
If you're in the middle, like I know you're pretty much a mostly monogamous stitcher.
For the most part.
I mean, I like to have a few projects going, but I'm usually actively working on one. Sometimes I'm just in a mood where I need a quick victory. Smalls are great for that. Yep.
Yeah, just more examples. This one was on theme. Acorn gathering.
Oh my gosh, is that little? Are those lights or flowers?
I think they're little acorn lights.
Oh, that's
Nicole liked this
cute.
one.
It's a sheep.
Yes, I thought this said "ew," but I think it's somebody's initials.
Yeah. So, for a little bit of context on why I like this so much, we have a black poodle.
And she calls him a sheep.
And I call him a sheep because he follows everybody around. So it's I might snag that pattern to try it.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I'm just staying on school fall theme. I thought this was kind of nice. Old cross stitch book from '86.
Oh, check out that, flip it around because there's a really fun, funky, colorful ad there.
Is that for DMC?
Yep. All 324 DMC colors.
This one
I
was
feel
just
like there's
cats.
more at this point.
Just cats.
But it's like illustrated. Just cats?
This one this one caught my eye. It's called Grandma's Last Hope. And it's a little girl.
So she's in a like a baseball uniform.
Cross stitching. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
This one was
Again,
fun.
prefacing, cross stitching is for everybody.
Looney Tunes. That was kind of fun. More nostalgia, more than anything. And another one I picked up. A sampler. One
Oh, that one. Is that a blue one?
from Penny Desco Stitches out of Pennsylvania.
I don't think I've heard of that designer.
Yeah. So that's just a sampling of what I picked up. I think I visit the freebie table twice a day, each day.
Just because the
just to
selection
look
refreshed
through.
itself.
Just look through.
Constantly,
but I believe
right?
I think I would not be incorrect to say everyone benefited from those freebie tables, and there was still stuff on the tables and good stuff when the retreat ended. So
I definitely like the sort of serendipity that comes when you just kind of, a project finds you. You know, you go to the freebie table, something catches your eye. You go to a garage sale, and the project that happens to be there is something that kind of speaks to you because it's something you see every day.
but on the same point, if there's stuff that you're holding on to and who isn't holding on to stuff, and you know you won't stitch it, or you know you won't gift it to somebody, do the D-stashes. Bring them to the retreats to bless other people. Why not?
Will,
rather than it ended up in a landfill or or somewhere where it's not
appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, share with each other.
Yeah.
I think
know.
that's...
I'm liking, you know, even some of these older patterns, retro, you know, 80s, 90s aesthetic.
And you could take,
is coming back in a big
take
way.
a motif. You don't have to do the whole pattern or the whole pattern. You can take a motif, do it in a different color, or that type of thing.
Well, and even like the Looney Tunes. I mean, classic 80s, 90s.
Well,
the people that grew up with those cartoons are now teaching their kids to cross stitch, or they're discovering it for themselves the first time. So, there's a lot of gateways.
yeah. Well, I think that's all we have now. I did have some other patterns I picked up at Christmas. I think we'll save kind of our Christmas stashes
A little bit later.
As we get closer to the holidays.
I'll have hopefully have some
holiday
projects going. I've got peppermint bark kitted up. I just need to go on it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited about that one.
So thank you again to Acorns and Threads for hosting that Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I look forward to hopefully being able to we
hoping
look forward to going next year.
You've piqued my interest.
Yes, and
sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube channel. I think we're at an hour and a half, and I apologize for that if it's too long for you. But you know, use
on the other hand, if you like the long form, you're welcome.
Yeah. And if you skip ahead, we're not offended. We're doing this for ourselves and to give back to the Flosstube community, and we are not monetizing this at all. It's just giving back and sharing our section of the cross stitch world. All right. Well, here's the videos and the still shots.
The stuff you've got from
the retreat.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
sharing.
Julie, take some pictures.
I am. Take it off. Hold it in your hand. And I gotta bring it. Sorry for having all these ladies Show your mothers and your grandmothers. Okay, Lori, move your hand.
We'll show you once, and then you're gonna all stand up. It doesn't take a whole lot of room. We're just gonna make an X with our feet, okay? And our hands. That'll be harder with me with the microphone. So watch Teresa's hands. So think of yourself, and don't forget.
isn't it